Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Most Excellent 80s Movies Podcast. Want to skip those ads and get early access? Become a member at truestory.fm/join and discover all the other great perks that come with it. Hello and welcome to the Most Excellent 80s Movies Podcast. It's the podcast where we rise and turn in our reviews of the 80s movies we think we love or might have missed, with these are modernized to see how they hold up. And today we're talking about Stand and Deliver, a movie selection from 1988, about which Letterboxd says, at a tough school, someone had to take a stand, ... and someone did. Together, one teacher and one class proved to America they could. Jaime Escalante is a mathematics teacher in a school in a Hispanic neighborhood. Convinced that his students have potential, he adopts unconventional teaching methods to try and turn gang members and no-hopers into some of the country's top algebra and calculus students. All right, here comes the trailer, baby.
Stay awake as you're waking up. Wake up this morning. How are you? Bring toothpicks. You pinch open your eyes.
Can we talk about sex?
We discuss sex. I have to give sexual homework.
I wouldn't do that if I was you. I'd lose a finger. I won't be able to count to 10.
At a tough school, someone had to take a stand, and someone did. Now the critics stand up and cheer for Stand and Deliver. Terrific, tremendous, gripping and compelling, more exciting than La Bamba. Olmos gives a wonderful performance, declares Jack Kroll, Newsweek. Enormously inspiring and very rewarding. Olmos gives the first great performance of the year. Jeffrey Lyons, sneak previews. And Pat Collins, WWOR-TV, says, stand up and cheer for a movie with heart. It's the Rocky of the classroom. Edward James Olmos.
Nethead.
Lou Diamond Phillips. Stand and Deliver.
Why'd they have to take a shot at La Bamba?
Jeez.
I know. My gosh. Poor Lou Diamond Phillips. I'm Krissy Lenz, one of the directors at the Neighborhood Comedy Theater in downtown Mesa, Arizona. And with me, as always, is...
Nathan Blackwell, independent filmmaker. Hi.
Hi. So before we jump in and really pick apart Stand and Deliver, we gotta say a little message to you, our loyal listeners. So you may have noticed the ads have gotten a bit wonky lately. We just switched, all of True Story FM just switched to a new system, and we're working out the kinks, so don't panic. The ads will be back to normal soon. For now, just bear with us as we work on more strategic placement of the ads. And I apologize for the bonkers ad placement on Little Monsters. It'll be cleaned up soon, and you'll be able to go back and listen to that one with a little more comfort as soon as we get fixed and updated. So that's our little housekeeping at the beginning. Stand and Deliver, Nathan. Is this a movie you've seen it before?
Yes. So this was one of those movies that I think, I was in grade school or elementary school or whatever the difference is, that came out. And so it was definitely one of those like inspirational stories that, there was kind of a small collection of movies that teachers would play in class when they didn't want to teach, or it was a half day, or like whatever for like summer session or whatever. And so this was one of those.
Yep, it sure was. That's the only reason I've seen it, is because an English teacher showed it to me in high school.
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
the only time I've seen it.
Yes. I've seen it once or twice, I believe. And now it's been quite some time
Yeah.
since
I
I've
I never returned
revisited.
to it. I remember liking it. I remember being moved by it and like inspired by it. Um
Yes.
but for no reason to ever go back to it. So I think it has as long as English teachers keep showing it to their classrooms, we're good. But
If the tradition continues,
yeah.
then
Other
this.
than that, I don't think that many people are going to be revisiting this movie.
Well, it's interesting. It's like, like anything. There's movies of the time where they have a lot of impact and a lot of splash, and some movies just the connection or whatever, it doesn't last. There's plenty of movies that we grew up in high school that were a big deal,
Mhm.
and now it's a struggle for it to find on like on streaming or digital.
Mhm.
um and of course, why would I have any examples in mind?
Why
but
would you? Of course.
but for sure there were tons of movies that saw in high school, and we talked about it, and now we're just kind of out of the sphere of influence, and they just don't have any lasting power. Not saying that this is necessarily like that, but I could totally see how this is no longer in the rotation when there's plenty of like big, like sports teacher inspirational movies. It's the niche of or niche, if you will, of
Yes,
of
I will. I will.
the the down on their, like, I don't know if Dead Poet Society is still in the conversation anymore.
Oh, I
Um,
I would say it is more so than Stand and Deliver.
right.
Like I think that Dead Poet Society, because of Robin Williams,
Mm, mhm,
has a little bit more cachet,
gotcha.
and nostalgia. Not which is not to say that Edward James Olmos is not resplendent and wonderful in this movie. He is. He was nominated
Yes.
for an Academy Award and a Golden Globe, and deservedly so. Uh,
Hmm.
he went real method on this movie and followed the real teacher around
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and like lived at his house.
Jeez. Did he
Yeah.
know?
I hope so.
Uh-huh.
Um,
I feel like another one, like Mr. Holland's Opus. That was one that I don't think is on radars anymore.
or the obvious one to me is Dangerous Minds from 1995.
Yes.
And I don't think that movie is really in the zeitgeist anymore either, aside from Coolio's contribution of
Yeah. In
Gangsta's
the mid to
Paradise.
late 90s. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we more remember Weird Al's Amish Paradise than we remember Coolio's Gangster's Paradise.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, it's interesting. So what are those inspirational movies now? You know, the
I I honestly couldn't tell you. I don't know. Is it supposed to be Sinners? Because
right.
I don't think we're making that many new movies about. And of course, I could be having a huge blind spot that I don't know about. But where are the movies about teachers in the Latinx neighborhoods now?
Hmm.
Making big progress and doing big things. And you know what really bothers me about this is that calculus is useless.
Uh-huh. unless you unless you are specifically going into a hard math and science profession, you know.
Right.
But
But
if
to
you
just
want,
get these kids like a better job and a real profession, like AP calculus is perhaps not the way. Like, can we teach them tax accounting? Can we teach them Can they pass the AP life skills class? Like, in Dangerous Minds, she's teaching them poetry, which I
Mm.
feel like is equally useless. And
Yeah,
I say that as a huge fan of poetry.
uh yeah, I remember I have a distinct memory of being in algebra and talking to
Mhm.
the teacher about what I would have to do to move on to calculus, and he was like, "What the fuck are you thinking? Like
Yeah.
you're my worst student in algebra, you know?"
Why do
Um
you want to go to calculus? There's no, like, unless you're an engineer or a science person, there's no like real world application for this calculus that they're learning. And it's like, it's wonderful that they're learning, and I get that he's like proving that they can learn and that they can achieve and that they can
yes, that they can achieve the top of the academic you know, uh
ladder.
pyramid. Yes,
Yeah,
the
pyramid.
ladder. Uh-huh.
And that's great, but they're obviously not doing that in all their classes. So, I mean, I don't think colleges, and maybe colleges are going to look at their one AP credit and go like, okay, this kid's got chops, but
Mhm.
I just don't see it as providing the springboard they need to have a new life.
Yeah, it is calculus. So I'm the wrong person to ask.
Well, you're a filmmaker and I'm a comedian, so
Yes.
what
So
the fuck do we know?
we're
Not a goddamn
degenerates.
thing.
Yeah, yeah, we're degenerates when it comes to that.
Yeah. I
I've
mean, my degree is in visual communications, for God's sake. So
yeah,
never a calculus did I take.
I've never used algebra. I've never used a lot of the math and science that I took. The earth sciences I took in community college,
Yep.
but that's because of my degenerate path,
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
uh, this movie, Stand and Deliver, really should have been called Sit and Calculate,
Yes.
because
And
I can't think of another movie where everyone is just sitting all the time.
sitting all the time. And like, we do see a little bit of their home lives. There's a real one of my favorite parts is where one of the girls, Anna, who is actually one of the only girls who, or one of the only student characters who is really based one to one on a real life person. Edward James Olmos and his wife go eat in her father's restaurant and say like, you
Mm-hmm.
need to let her go to school.
Yeah, that's
Don't
one of
make
the
her
best
drop out.
scenes.
That's one of
What
the
we
best scenes.
what we needed were more of those scenes. Like, I felt like, so again, I'm not I I was inspired by this movie. Edward James almost knocks it out of the park, but there are
And
some
I have to say, he underwent hair thinning for this
jeez.
role, which I
Uh-huh.
can't imagine a male Hollywood lead actor doing in this day and age. And he gained 20
No.
pounds.
Yeah.
Everyone's gaining and losing weight,
Well,
but
he
are
still
they
looks better
thinning
than me,
their
but
hair?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Edward James Olmos. Yeah.
Yes.
And he's knocking it out of the park. Also, Lou Diamond Phillips is magnetic.
Yes.
But never did I feel he's sort of the bad boy angel. He's the bad boy. He shows up drunk when they get their test results but never was I afraid that the gang life was going to take him.
No. My biggest criticism of this film is that we are almost outside of the action. Like, I wanted to feel their resistance of taking all this math. Like, at
Yeah.
some, like, I wanted to see more of each of them have a reason to join Dumbledore's army,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
because it's not just that he is inspirational. They end up joining this math group. It is a diehard commitment. They're doing it like every day, and they're doing it in the summer. They also,
Over
at some
Christmas
point,
break.
yeah, it's like they're, it's almost like they're. I'm missing their motivation. I'm
Mhm.
missing the turning point to where they're each kind of deciding to step into this team and to make a difference in their life. You know,
Right. In fact, there's one scene where one of the kids, I forget his name, but he's like, chemo. They call him chemo, it's short for chemo sabe. And he's like, chemo, I have to work Saturday and Sunday. I can't, do calculus Saturday and Sunday. I have to work. I can make double the money. I need the money. And so Mr. Escalante takes him out for a drive in his car and is like stripping the gears of his car. And he's like, which way, right or left, right or left? Go right, go right. So they go right and he hits a dead end and he goes, you see the lesson? You only see the turn, not the road ahead. And it's like, well, did you know that was a dead end? What was the plan here? Like, and okay, I think it would have been more inspirational if he was trying to like work with them and allow them to like make some money for their families, which they probably like sorely need, while
don't
also learning calculus.
don't worry. In a year and a half, this will all pay off when you pass the calculus test.
And in what way? you know, like spoiler alert, they all passed the test.
Mm-hmm.
Um and the
Oh,
you
great!
know, what do they achieve beyond that? Like, and in the very end, so they all pass the test, but their grades get
Challenged because
challenged by Andy Garcia and his
Mhm.
partner, who are like, we think that you all cheated because you all got the same wrong answers.
Mhm.
So they make them take the test again and they all pass again.
Yeah.
And then our little freeze frame at the end, which is like, okay, in 1974 this many kids passed, in 1975 double that many passed, in
Yeah.
1976 triple that number passed, in 78 almost 100 kids passed the math test. And I was like, okay, great, but like, what happened to them after? Like, did they get jobs as teachers? Where are they now? Like, how many of them got out of East LA and like made better lives for themselves and their families?
Yeah. I I I wanted a graphic that said, like, I think it ended like in 86 or something. Um I wanted a graphic that said, like, in 2020, um the calculus class had grown so powerful that it had enveloped all of Earth. Like, it just kept building. Um what we needed was an American Graffiti style ending to where it says, like, how specifically the people that we've been following have gone on to other things. Now it's tough because they're, as far as I know, they're fictionalized
All but one.
amalgamations.
All but
Yeah,
Alba. Yeah. All but
right.
Alba. Anna is the only one who is based on a real student, a
Right.
one-to-one basis. The rest were, as you said, amalgamation. So
Mhm.
so make it up. Use some artistic license,
Or showing the real kids and then about what they're, it's like, showing the real photos of Jaime Escalante and the kids and showing where they all went off. This person, became a doctor. This person is an analyst at NASA, or just, or what, just give us a little extra meat at the end. you
Mhm.
know it is inspirational. It is great to see them surpass it. I just felt like I was missing a little more of the inside experience, the emotion of the challenge, of the characters, their motivations. And it just felt like we were outside of the action watching the movie objectively.
I completely agree with you. And in fact, there's a moment when in the retake test where Anna, who is the girl from the restaurant, who's the only one who's a real student, not an amalgamation, has to leave early And she's like, I have to go to a meeting about my scholarship. Oh, great. She's getting a scholarship. To where? For what? Por why? Tell me more, please.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like, are you sure you have to go? And she's like, yep, bye. But she still passed the test. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, I wanted to know more about that. And maybe I
Mm-hmm.
just wasn't paying attention and they told us what she became, but I didn't write that down.
Yeah.
My favorite part of the whole thing is when Lou Diamond Phillips, Angel is his character's name, is out with his friend and they're like just driving around drinking,
Mm-hmm.
and they stop in a like vacant lot and he's like, we're looking at the stars, but those aren't really the stars anymore. That's the light from the stars millions of years ago. And those
Mm-hmm.
stars are all dead now. And it's like this really beautiful moment. And it's like, okay, so you're doing well in science too? Like, are you doing well in all your classes? Like, who taught you that? Because it wasn't chemo.
Right. Yeah, he was a great character, but it like there was like that really confrontational gang friend of his. And I never saw like him. I hope I just didn't miss this. I never saw him like blow off or resist and leave. He was just gone one day.
Yeah, he was just gone one day. Yep.
Yeah. It would have been really nice if he was, he obviously came with the toughest resistance up front and he rejects the whole thing and he gets thrown out or he walks out or whatever. But there's that. It's like not everyone will join.
Yeah.
This is a tough environment.
Yeah, so the friend doesn't join, but Lou Diamond Phillips does, and in fact, he's like, I'll give you 3 sets of books. He asked for another set of books so he can keep one at home and have one at school, so he doesn't have to like be seen with his books because it'll hurt
Right.
his street
But
cred.
we're still missing more. There's still just not enough meat,
There's not enough meat, and he's like, I'll give you 3 books. You can have a book for your locker, a book for the classroom, and a book for home. And it's like, okay, great. That's a great solution. But I never see him like get shamed by his gang or anything. It makes me think of
or be tempted back to
there's a Keanu Reeves baseball movie. Do you know what movie I'm talking about?
No, continue.
It's called Hardball.
Okay.
And it's like basically the same story as The Mighty Ducks.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a high-powered attorney who somehow gets like busted for gambling, and he has to go teach an inner city baseball team as punishment. And of course, like he learns to love them and he teaches them valuable lessons as they go along the way. But at some point, a kid dies.
Ooh.
In this lighthearted baseball movie. And at no point was I worried in Stand and Deliver that any kid was going to die, even though like they build this movie as a comedy, which I didn't find it that funny.
No.
At no point was I worried that Angel was like risking his life to take this math class.
This is a drama. And I'm when this movie started, I was like, gosh, I missed when they made dramas.
Oh yeah, you miss dramas?
Yeah.
Yeah? No dramas for you these days?
They don't seem to make theatrical dramas these days, do they?
What are they? So what the hell are they making? I'm gonna go see Weapons tomorrow. What the hell is that movie?
It's not a drama.
Okay.
It's like two or three things, but drama is not one of them.
Drama's not one of them, yeah. But they build this movie as a comedy, and I was just like, I'm not laughing.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I was moved. I was inspired. I did come to care for the characters, but I also thought this movie was really goddamn boring.
It was a little long, and we keep saying that we wish there was more.
Mm-hmm. But not more length. More depth.
Yeah. More obstacles, really, If you're going to fictionalize them, if you're going to make an amalgamation, that gives you more license to maybe push it a little harder. You know, you don't have to have like anyone die, but I
Not
wanted
unless
to
you're a
see
Keanu Reeves baseball movie.
just wanted to see a little more resistance to
There's a
calculus, like
scene
any normal person would do.
where there's a scene where one of the girls can't study at night because her mom comes home from work and she's so tired, and this student has been taking care of her little brothers and sisters
Yeah.
all day, and she's trying to do her homework at night, and the mom's like, will you turn off the light? And she's like, yeah, Mom, I'll turn off the light. And so she can't do her studying, but we never see her struggle with calculus. Like, she's always just like, nope.
Mhm.
And now I'm good with now I'm good at calculus.
Yeah.
I'm perfect at it. Like, not a single kid failed. They all passed, and then they all pass again.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's like, it's hard to talk about a movie where not much happens except math.
Is there another math heavy movie? What's another math heavy movie?
Good Will Hunting?
Yeah, kind of. But that math is treated like magic.
That's true. And they certainly don't make it seem like, I guess maybe Hidden Figures.
Yeah, but that's a good one that does have the struggle that really just, makes a meal out of it because it is
Mhm.
based off of a real story as well. But yeah, they make it really tough on the characters. And it means more.
Yeah, I agree. That's really all I can come up with.
Yeah.
What's that one where they go and they count cards? It's like
Um,
Kevin Spacey is in it, and they go and they count cards, and they are trying to win money from the casino.
jeez, I don't
That's about math.
know. Okay, good.
That's it. That's all I got. Because Dangerous Minds is about poetry.
Yeah. Okay, that's weird. Admittedly, I haven't seen that one.
You haven't seen Dangerous Minds?
It was so popular
That you rejected it?
that I rejected it. Yeah, I went through a phase, but
Where you were
also,
rejecting everything that was popular in the 90s?
well,
I want to know more about this, Nathan.
it took. I was resistant to Titanic, but I did see it in theaters. But I was initially resistant. Um,
Okay, I feel that way about Avatar. Like, I have no business.
mm,
I have no business with
well,
Avatar.
I think when there's movies in the zeitgeist, but there aren't necessarily in your wheelhouse, your genre wheelhouse, that gives you a reason not to watch it because it's in the zeitgeist, like the zeitgeist makes, for whatever reason, you decide to rebel against it. That's my thinking.
Well, I remember Dangerous Minds being really good.
Okay, good.
So I think that you would like it.
Is that your deep cut recommendation?
It's not. It's not my deep cut recommendation. I feel like it's too obvious, but I do feel like you would like it. It should be the obvious cut recommendation for everyone who's seeing this film. And honestly, like, I don't know what else to say about this film. Like, aside from like recapping it start to finish, which I even can't do that because it's like, and then they sit and do math, and then they sit and do math, and then they sit and do math. There's one part that I wrote down where he, at the very beginning, he's handing out the test scores for like their very first quiz, and he gives Anna her test score, and she did very well. And he leans down like to her ear and goes, "Is it true that intelligent people make better lovers?" And I'm like, "Don't you say that to her. That's disgusting, sir.
I
Back
felt like
off,
there was like
please."
at least 3 moments where that was like, where he kind of walked over that bridge. Like, it's even used in the trailer, It's like, if you guys are talking
Yeah.
about sex, I have to give you sex for homework.
Yeah, that's not appropriate, sir.
Uh-huh.
No, thank you, Mr. Escalante. Yeah, I mean, I don't I didn't even have that many notes that I was like, oh, we got to talk about this. They pimp his ride.
Mm-hmm. It
This
did
cute
look
little.
nice.
It did look nice. He's like driving this like beat up little VW bug, and on the first day it gets its windows broken, and like we
That's
don't even really get to see. We got to see a little bit of his struggle with his family. Like at some point his wife
yes,
is like, I don't want you working on Christmas, and he's just like,
yes. Like,
too bad. And she's like, well, okay.
and then he has a
They
heart
don't.
attack, but he doesn't stop.
Yeah, he has a heart attack and he learns no lessons.
You know what? That's the movie. What the movie should have been called is Test Passers.
Test passers.
Test Passers. So
No matter what Andy Garcia says, they're gonna pass the test. We never
this
even really get to see Andy Garcia eat his words. We do
no
get to see
no.
a tense conversation where he confronts them and he's like, FYI, you're being racist. And Andy
Hmm.
Garcia is like, you're telling me I'm being racist? Excuse me, sir, I'm not being racist. And he's like, well, you still kind of are. And they're having this argument about whether or not this investigation of his students is being racist, which it is. um but even that is not really brought into, aside from that little scene, and then it's gone,
Hmm.
and then we just move on. Next. It's a real slice of life picture.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
And I have a hard time knowing if I liked it.
I liked it, but with reservations. I I was really taken with it when I saw it long ago as a young
Mhm.
boy.
Mhm.
Um, but now, yeah, now having seen, it's like you have a couple of first time inspirational student teacher movies, and those
Mhm.
first ones make a big impact on you because they're like they're the initial ones that kind of introduce you to the whole idea. Like I love a good teacher misfit student, let's all get together, let's do a school of rock or be great at basketball or whatever.
I
um,
love School of Rock. I think School of Rock is a really multi-layered movie that gets taken for granted.
agreed. But yeah, just missing, now that we've seen so many of these movies, this, it's not the story, but this particular movie is just missing a little meat. That was
And do
mine.
you think it's
Missing
because
subjectivity.
do you think it's because of it was made in 1988, like that it would just would have been
No.
made more exciting and more dramatized if it was made in
No, I feel like
2028?
a good but weird analogy to this is the Karate Kid. You know,
Okay,
of
I'm
having
listening.
of so you've got one person with a problem, you've got one person with an unorthodox teaching method, and there's a lot of conflict between choosing to learn this thing and not,
Mhm.
and the path they take and the ups and downs that entail and how it transforms their life. Like, this is a sports movie. This is Rocky and the Karate Kid.
Yeah, but the sport is calculus.
Yes.
And it's hard to see calculus as an enemy.
Hmm.
Even in Dangerous Minds, she's like, Dylan Thomas and Bob Dylan are the same. And it's like, okay, well, Bob Dylan is still out of date
Yeah.
in 1995.
Yeah. I mean, it is a great story. It is a great story of hope and transformation. I just wish the movie was a little more dramatic.
So on a scale of
Ooh.
one pimped out VW
Or so
to
they got like a 1 to 5 at the end of their, what was their test called, by the way?
the AP calculus exam.
Right. So they got to score 1 to 5 and 3 passes, right?
Yep, that's right. So
So
are we gonna break with tradition and score this on 1 to 5?
no, I say we do. So the passing grade is 3 out of 5. So how many 3 out of 5s are you going to give the movie?
Okay, how many 3 out of 5s? Out of 10. Out of 10,
Uh-huh.
3 out of 5s. Now we're doing calculus.
Yes.
And I don't know if I approve of us doing this calculus. Okay, so I find this really hard. And I still don't know what I'm gonna rate it.
Mhm.
What are you gonna rate it?
I would say it pains me, but I'm going to give it a 6. I want to give it a 7.
I want to give it a 7 too. I want to give it an 8, but I can't.
Mhm.
I think it's a 6. I think this movie is a 6.
Yeah. Maybe even like a 6.4, but yeah, I think we have
Passes
spoken.
the
The
test.
council
It
has
passes the
spoken.
test. Okay, so what is your deep cut recommendation?
Fuck.
And
Uh-huh.
it can't be Dangerous Minds.
Look, I sometimes these deep cut recommendations are very difficult. Okay, there's,
It's true.
they- they're all obvious town, not deep cut.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love Edward James Olmos, and he's fantastic in Battlestar. If you you also love Edward James Olmos, and you haven't seen him in Battlestar Galactica, just watch it. It's great. I know the show is old now. It holds up, or one assumes.
I've never seen it.
It's if you want more Edward James Olmos, he's great in it. The show goes hard. It's not a fluff show.
I would also recommend, like, he does a lot of conventions, and I hear he's
Mhm.
great.
Yeah, yeah. I've met Edward James Olmos in real life. He was a guest speaker at my high school. Um,
Oh, no way. Did
we
you
didn't.
stand and deliver?
He standed and delivered. This was in 1994 or something like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think he's great. I hope um, I hope other people think he's great. And
I think
yeah,
he's great. I think he's
yeah,
wonderful. I think he's wonderful in this. Hold on.
yes.
I'm gonna look up who did win the Best Actor Oscar in 1988.
Mm.
Michael Douglas for Wall Street.
I don't know.
What do
That's a
we think
tough
about
one.
that?
I'd give it to Edward James Olmos. Like he would be my
I would give it to Edward James Olmos too.
yeah.
Because Wall Street was a
It,
weird ass movie.
yeah, it was an iconic performance. I think in terms
Hmm.
of I would have given it to Edward James Olmos. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I think so too.
See,
Michael
we love
Douglas
him.
didn't undergo any hair thinning.
Yes, I think that was pretty insane. But yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I have 2 deep cut recommendations.
So no rating? Oh no, you did a rating.
I did. I agreed with you. I'd give it 6.
Okay, continue.
Okay. My first one is about a group of teachers who have to do the best they can with not the best resources, who really care about their students and provide inspiration on a weekly basis.
Hmm.
I recommend Abbott Elementary.
Very good.
Have you seen it?
I've seen some of it. I can't say that I've fully committed to it, but I've definitely seen some. Yeah.
It's very funny. It's very good. I highly recommend it. Leslie Odom Jr. shows up at some point, and it's just Bradley Cooper shows up at some point. Like, it's just a
There's
funny
a
show.
there is an Always Sunny in Philadelphia crossover with the show.
I'm not caught up to that point, but I know that they did it, so I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
It's
I have to wait
literally
till
a
they come out on
crossover to where
Hulu.
they're all in the same episode.
That's so weird.
It's so insane.
That's so weird. So here's my other deep cut recommendation. And I have to say, we went on a little journey. So I made my
Yes.
husband Dorian watch this movie with me. I tried to make my son Rocket, who is 15, watch this movie with me. And he was like, no, thanks, Mom. This movie's about math. I get enough math in my real life. I'm dipping out. But Dorian watched this movie with me. And he was just like, you know what I want to watch now? Young Guns. And I was like,
Oh
no,
no.
Young Guns is terrible. And he
Mm-hmm.
was like, "No, it's not. Young Guns is great." And I was like, "I assure you, it's terrible." And he was like, "Well, I want to watch it anyway." And I was like, "Okay, I'll watch it with you." But it wasn't available on Prime. So what we
Oh
watched
no.
instead was Young Guns 2.
Whew. Uh-huh.
So I want to low key recommend
Uh-huh.
Young Guns 2 because Lou Diamond Phillips is magnetic. He's just you can't when he's on screen you can't take your eyes off him. He is even though he plays a relatively small part, he's like at the heart of Young Guns 2.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a really fun moment where he clashes with Christian Slater and they have a big fight. And that to me was the best part of the movie.
Mm.
So my low key recommendation is Young Guns 2.
Ooh. I think my low-key recommendation is the Key and Peele sketch if Hogwarts were an inner city school.
Oh,
It's so good.
I
Vincent Clortho
love
Public
that
School of
sketch.
Wizardry.
Yes. I love that sketch. Now that's a good recommendation. Yes. So, spoiler, we have an event coming up where we're doing a crossover with a podcast called The Long Rewind, where we're going to watch some ninja movies, and I don't know if we'll get to do our deep cut recommendations, so mine's going to be a Saturday Night Live sketch.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Yay.
Very good.
Okay.
Very good.
So in this very short episode, Nathan, why don't you tell the people where they can support your filmmaking endeavors?
Yeah, so as always, squishystudios.com is the place to go. That's if you want to check out any of my Voyage Trekkers stuff, which is for my older web series, or if you haven't checked out my feature film, the last movie ever made, you can find links like a trailer there. It's just the easiest place for that stuff. And then there's links if you want to, click and rent the movie or something like that on Amazon and Apple.
Excellent. All very fun. Love Voyage Trekkers. Can't recommend it enough. If you want to see me in real life, go to the Neighborhood Comedy Theater in downtown Mesa, Arizona, every Friday and Saturday night. You can say hi to me. If you tell me you're a most excellent 80s movies podcast listener, I will buy you a drink at the Sacred Pint, which is our little pub that's in front of the Neighborhood Comedy Theater there. If you want to listen to me more and you like the show Supernatural, tune in to Gank That Drank, a supernatural drinking game podcast where me and my co-host Nate McWhorter watch and drink along to our favorite episodes of our favorite show, Supernatural, also a True Story FM product. And if you're listening here at the end and you're like, not only were these ads a bit bonkers and I want them gone, but also I want to know more about Nathan and Krissy. Sorry, Nate is my
Ugh.
other host. You're Nathan.
Look, she's got a type. Okay.
I do. I do have a type. Uh, sign up to be a member at truestory.fm. Just click on our little podcast, click on the little linky. You get episodes a week early and ad free, and you get some extra special bonus content. Today, me and Nathan are going to talk about favorite teachers.
Ooh.
Yeah, favorite teachers that we've had. So if you want to get that content, then tune in there. And as always, when you're out there in the world, please keep the most excellent 80s movies podcast motto in mind. Be excellent to each other and
Party on, dudes.